I think in terms of diverse experiences, right, or diversity as a whole, I think a lot of individuals, brands, companies focus more on what diversity looks like as opposed to what diversity feels like. And I think that that's a major, I think we devalue the difference between those two. And I think that it's like you said, the South can still be segregated, but the work of diversity is kind of adding an individual at a job, or adding an individual in a photo, or adding an individual in the marketing strategy. Right.
That is, I mean, that is the conversation that is happening in my world, in the wedding and events industry, of, showing diversity, and
feeling what diversity feels like.
Right. And for me, I'm like, okay, but I can't just put a picture up and call myself diverse. It's not, I just can't bring myself to do that. And I'm not saying that it's not authentic for other people if they are already in that position to have had diverse clientele, or, what have you. But, for me, I'm like, okay, it's a little bit more nuanced, that I want people to know that it's so personal and authentic to me that I can't reduce it to just a post on Instagram. I can't reduce it to, look, here, I'm diverse. Here's a beautiful photo, like it. Okay, moving on, but then what is diverse? If I'm not doing that, then what am I doing? And
right. How do you exercise it if it isn't aesthetically, or if it isn't like with those small actions? And I feel like what we can focus on in terms of like really approaching diversity is, how do we feel in these moments? How do we feel the day we wake up and see that George Floyd was murdered? How do we feel when we see images of people that don't look like us fighting for voice? How nervous or how challenged, like personally challenged, do we feel? And I think the way diversity makes people feel is less contested in those moments, less defensive in those moments. When you, what does it mean to be diverse? What does it mean to be diverse? That's a good question. My dude, he comes through with a great, okay. And so I think that's it, Edward. It's like, what it means to be diverse is, being able to take things in a certain way, to take opinions in a certain way, to take imagery in a certain way, to take someone combating your stance on something in a certain way. You know what I mean? If you walk into a room and see 10 people that don't look like you, how comfortable are you in saying, oh, okay, I recognize this voice? Or not even so much like doing how long it takes you to recognize a voice in that room, but how okay are you with a voice that you don't recognize, right? Like diverse is not having the answers to things. Diverse is having the room for things. You see what I mean? And so people that aren't diverse have no room for new things, have no room for nuance, have no room for change and innovation in the way that they either, for professionals, in the way that they run their company or do their business, or innovation in how you have a conversation with people.